I really don't have to say it, but I think everybody who uses a wheelchair knows the horror stories, and I won't even go to those horror stories. I might mention one or two or three throughout the video, but we all know that it's an issue. Hello everyone, this is Lisa from World Wheelchair Warriors, and this is a channel all about wheelchairs and resources and recommendations and guidance and friendship and everything else. Everything to do with wheelchairs. So anyway, this video today is really about the struggles we are still facing when flying and using our wheelchairs, or attempting to use our wheelchairs, or ending up without a wheelchair after flying. So it's still, this has come to the attention of the United States government, of the Canadian government, of the United Kingdom government. So they know that the big issues are there, and we have still a long ways to go. Airlines, one or the other, are really trying, I would say trying, a little bit, to correct the issues that really have shown up, in videos, in newspaper articles, in, stories of all kinds. Instagram, you name it. We have done a pretty good job of bringing it forward, in terms of what is going on, what happens to us when we try to fly. And I would say try. One of the first things that I would say, they should not be picking us up, and I don't know who should be picking us up. They are trained to pick up luggage, and I don't think they're really trained to pick up people. So I wouldn't let them touch me. The day that they touch me and they drop me, I'd be in the hospital for a very long time. But it's just all these problems: breaking our wheelchairs, dropping people, not having sufficient staff to help us off the airplane, taking off and leaving us in the airport, it's charging us more than they should. I think that happened to me not long ago, a few years ago. But, all of this, we have to keep on pushing. So those videos and those write-ups have somewhat helped. American Airlines has put out some information, and Air Canada has got some lashing from their government. So they're putting out, how they're going to improve the situation. So this has to go through all the staff from that particular airline, including the pilots, but there also has to be some kind of consequence that, there are some consequences here and there, for if they break a wheelchair or things like that, or so it's just not enough yet. We're not there. So what can we do to continue to work this through the systems and to make sure that our government, our transportation governments, those governments or those pieces of a government that are in charge of airlines, airports, that they push it through, the support for us to be able to fly without fear of something happening. So that's one thing, on our part, to make sure that we make this as public as possible, but also your congressman or congresswoman to make sure that we continue to write to them over and over, to continue to, here in the United States, to continue to, because it takes one country. It just takes one country to be able to break through all these problems that we're having flying, that other countries will follow. So it's not just here in the United States, it's in Kenya and Congo, and it's in Japan and France. Doesn't matter where in the world. It just takes one group, one country to break through and to make things right. Because we do have a right to fly. We all know that. I don't have to put out, the rules and regulations. You all know them. I don't have to put out, horrible stories that have happened throughout airports and situations. You all know those for the most part. So, we have to keep on pushing. And if you, there are some letters out there that you can sign and send to your congressman, and we need to continue to do that here in the United States. Excuse me, morning froggy. So here in the United States, you can contact, Pete Buttigieg and continue to send him letters so that the Department of Transportation, so they can keep notes and keep track of what's going on. They have put in some stipulations. It's going to take a couple of years to put everything in place, but also, it's important to keep track of where we're at, what's being done, what's being improved. So, we have to do that. I've seen people that I know who use wheelchairs on YouTube, and they've said it very clear. Flying is just too much of a hassle. It is. So there are little, videos on how to fly and what kind of things you need to keep in mind, and, flying is possible. But you need to be careful. You really do, because we're not there yet in terms of keeping our wheelchairs safe, keeping us safe, being able to get to the other end and having our wheelchair there so we can take off, and get to our next destination. It's just so much hassle, more than a hassle, because it's our well-being that is also impacted. So I would say the following: write to your congressman. Keep on, putting out there in the public what's happening, what's going on with us, and how flying is, problematic for us, and what was done, what wasn't done, what was fair, So we got to put that out there. And I would say, continue to write letters to the airlines themselves, for them to let them know, because they're the ones who really have to respond to this problem, to put some pressure on the airlines, from all of us, so they know that we have rights. We need to fly for a variety of reasons. Doesn't matter, what their personal opinion is, but, we need to continue to put that pressure and not let it off. So those are the three things I think that are really important. Write to your congressman, or, to the people who are in charge in your government and need to know this information. To write to the people who, to put it in the public, so in the public's eye, so they know what's going on and how difficult it is for us to fly. And then the other one is to continue to put pressure on the airlines themselves, on your Department of Transportation, who's in charge of the coming and going of airlines in your airport. So those are the three things that I can sincerely recommend that we continue to do, because we want these problems to just be eliminated, and for us to fly just like anyone else. And I think the key to all of this, and the key that's going to really stop the leakage of money from the airlines, and the suits and all this kind of stuff that's going on, is to allow us to bring our wheelchair onto the airplane. There's just no other reason not to do that soon. Because once we can drive onto the airplane and park ourselves, and for them to be able to strap the wheelchair down, we're done. Off we go. So, it's not that hard, folks. I think the money that they invest in that's going to save them thousands and thousands of dollars, or, through the years. They're going to recover from all this nightmare stuff that's been going on. So anyway, those are my 3 recommendations. And I hope that we keep on pushing. Do not take that foot off, because, then if we back off, then they say, oh, we haven't heard any complaints, so we're not going to do anything. We can't do that. We got to keep on putting the pressure on. So that is my invitation for today. In my thought, I feel really bad for those who have suffered consequences, serious ones, that, they've had to receive a broken wheelchair, or they have been dropped, from the staff in the airplane or outside the airplane. I feel bad for those who the staff never came back, once they landed in the other airport. I feel bad for them that they had to crawl off the airport, or somebody had to pick them up and take them out of the plane. It's just awful things that have happened, and it needs to stop. I don't need to go through all the horrible things that have happened to us. I really don't. You all know it. You all have heard it. And yes, we need to follow the steps and, all the things that the airport recommends, and all the little videos that tell us, what kind of things to do. But we also need to be very cautious, and to make sure that the staff and the airline itself is following TSA rules, their own rules, and respecting the human dignity. So I'll leave it at that. Those are my thoughts for today. And feel free to post your comments, your concerns, the things that you've been able to do to put the pressure on so that we're able to fly with dignity.